So Sakai is our learning management system, and we started using it in like 2006, 2007. We were using something called WebCT, and I wasn't here at the time, so I'm not really sure how that worked. But I had a Blackboard also. So Blackboard costs a lot of money, so we decided we're going to use something that's open source. So like kind of we can manage and control ourselves, but it's something that's free. We just needed the people here to maintain it. And we had a kind of contest between two different ones. One's called Sakai, one's called Moodle. And they had professors and different students test it out. And the majority of people liked Sakai, so I chose Sakai. And for a while they were managing it here on itself, like a server on the site and everything. But there's some glitches here and there, and we found out that American Public University, APUS, they run Sakai themselves exclusively. They're an online school. They have thousands of students around the world. They use Sakai all the time. So for a small fee, they manage Sakai for us. And any technical issues behind the scenes, we contact them. They help us out. But any stuff that happens here on campus, we kind of manage and take care of that. So when they archive our sites, we go up to like 4.5 years of sites we have available here, but then they also save the old sites. That's kind of where we are with Sakai. If you've logged into the Sakai site, it's at www.shepherd.edu. And at the very top, there's the Sakai page. Right here. There's also another way that we used to use if I want to print students or faculty and staff. And they put up this handy dandy there, which is great. I'll show it to your email and bring it. So right now, I'm already logged into Sakai, and I want to go to our training site. Okay, so when you go to the site, it looks kind of plain. This is what a typical site would look like. It has a blank area here. And normally the students come in, they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? So the way you can change that is you click on this little, looks like a pencil, it's the edit button. And you have the text box here. This is throughout Sakai, you'll see these are all the different areas that you want to change in sites. It's called a rich text box. And here you can type a message. And then the text box, you can make it bigger, larger, just like the Word document. You can change the fonts. Now, these are one of your sites here. If we go to Home, this has kind of an announcement that we can post different things about what's coming up in Sakai or different things. This is your home area where you can have your calendar, resources where you store your personal things. No one else can see those but you. It's a central place where all your sites have their announcements. These are sites from all across my announcements from all across my sites. The search function doesn't work in this case here. Membership, though, shows you all the sites you're a member of. And your profile, where you can put your profile picture. And this is good if you let them know who you are. You're having, like, especially a course online. Also in the forums, whenever you post in the forums area, you'll have a little picture of you as well. So like if you have a class and all the different students are posting things, you can actually see who they are. So that's very handy. And preferences is the way you kind of adjust all your different settings of the notifications you get. People generally don't change these, but you can. It's up to you. One thing that's very important is to look here under sites. Everything, these are all the sites I'm a member of. Some of them are checked. Under sites, under preferences, these are the ones that are hidden. So sometimes if you can't find a site, maybe you check there, make sure that it's not hidden. Generally, when you first log in, you go to your sites. You have the ones that are not hidden listed here. Now, the ones that have stars are the ones that are listed on the front here in Sakai. So, for example, if I were to uncheck this math course and close it up, it's going to ask me to reload. The math course is here. When I hit reload, it's still there. It's just not in my favorites. A lot of times at the beginning of the semester, students will, or professors will change the ones they have. Like their whole courses, they'll kind of uncheck. So next, I kind of just want to show you some of the tools on some of your different Sakai. You wonder how to change the front page. Now let's check out the site editor. You notice all the tools here have just regular fonts. This one's kind of grayed out. What that indicates is that site is hidden. So for the students, the site editor is always hidden. So they can't change anything in your site. We click on Site Editor. There's lots of different options up here. Edit site information is kind of what we did at the beginning. Manage tools. All the little checks here are all the tools that are listed on the side. These are the general tools we usually use. But there are a lot more available. There's an old assignments tool that we're kind of phasing out, but people have been using it, so we're kind of phasing it out. Whether that's an old tool, not to use it. You can use a blog if you want. Assignments is something we use a lot in announcements. Dropbox if you want. Dropbox is where each student has this a file they can upload documents, and the professor can access it as well. People use that as if you have like a draft and you want to share it with the professor, they look over it and send information back. So the professor will see all the different Dropboxes, but the student won't see their Dropbox. That's not listed on the side. In order to add a tool, you have to check it. Scroll down and continue. And it's going to actually confirm that. Finish. And there it is. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this happens to a lot of professors, not a lot, but some. When you get a manage tool, the site editor is also listed here as one of your tools. Do not uncheck it and then hit finish, because then the site editor disappears. And then you can't get it back.
You have to call you.
You have to call me, I contact this, and then they can get it back for you. We're trying to get it so they can change that, so that it's not available. Okay, I've had 3 professors this semester already that did that. Ones that should know better, but it happens.
Yeah.
Now this one here is not a standard tool, it's called Online Sakai Help. You go back to here. Online Sakai Help. This is basically a website that I linked to the left side. And you can change that by clicking on this edit button here. Just putting a web page. And that's basically, I'll show you how to add that. Manage tools. That's basically this tool here called Web Content. You click on it. It's going to now ask you to give a title for that little tool, and also to give a URL. You could put Yahoo or whatever you want, and then that would appear over here on the left. You can also put a URL in your resources. It doesn't really matter. It's an option. Anybody have questions so far? Okay. Also, you notice the tools over here, maybe you don't like the way, you'd rather have assignments up here. If you go to Tool Order, this lets you grab a tool and just move it where you want. And when you're done, you hit save. And you notice that the tool order has changed. Also, tool order, you can, over here on the right, there's a little square here. If you click on it, you can make your tool invisible. That's why it's hidden for the students. If for some reason you'd want to hide a tool, this is how you do it. Now, by default, our banner system, that's in our rail system is all together. That's how we have our rosters generated and our classes generated. So when someone registers for class in rail, Banner, during our nightly cycle, Banner sends information to Sakai. And they get the rosters through our master site template. We tell Sakai who are the students. Now this is a graded course, so it doesn't do that, but the courses that are graded through Banner, like y'all will be teaching from, it's sent there. And the students will be given the role as student. Sometimes, though, there's an instance where a student, you want to add someone else in your class, and maybe it's not a student, you just want them to observe. If you add participant, you can add them there. All you need is their email address, not the @random checker, but just the first part of their email. And then you hit continue. Now you want to choose their role. Typically they're a student, but if you add them as a student and they're not in rail, you'll remove them. So if you add them as a student observer, however, they'll be able to stay in the course and they can observe. Maybe you want them to take assignments for some reason. And will not remove them. However, they will not be at the end of the semester in the course. That's where you actually put your grades in. We use this in case like a student maybe has a problem with financial aid or they didn't pay their bill yet. System-wide will remove them. And if you want to add them, like you talk to the student, you know that they're going to pay. If you want them to not get behind in class, you can go ahead and add them as a student observer.
But you said every night rail corrects that.
Yes. It will remove them if they're as a student. But as a student observer, it will not remove them. However, when you go in for midterms, put their grade in, if they haven't actually officially been put in the course, then they can't put grade in. It's more of a temporary help for them. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's look at your course.
So you have to kick into your course in order to get to that.
Yes. Okay. Here's a specific for that.
When you add another instructor, like for my class with clinical component, I think you told me to use them as an academic.
Yes, and then it's academic observer.
That's the best way to put that person in.
Because it recognizes you as the professor. And so if you're not the actual professor on record, then they might kick you out. So academic observer, then that would be wrong.
Keep them in there for the whole semester.
And academic observer has the same rights as a professor, just like the student observer has the same rights as a student. But again, at the end of the day, the professor has to put the grade. And we're not going to actually add any of these. And some other useful tools here. Any other questions? We just went over the tool order, which is a great tool. Thank you. She requested that tool for it. Manage groups is something that's very handy. Let's say you want to give an exam to just one, maybe 10 people in your class, maybe give 5 to one and 5 to another project. First, you have to create a group here. And it's very simple. I've already created 2 there. You just kind of create a group, answer the title. And these are just some test students, but you just basically click on and move over. And you're done to hit add. Now, this will become handy when you have assignments or tests and quizzes. It'll give you the option to have your test and quiz given to everyone or to that group. If you ever need to reset your tool, just kind of go at the top and it goes back to the beginning.
When you say give an exam to a group, can you administer examinations through Sakai? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, because we don't do that in my program, so if there was
Well, that's okay. You don't have to.
Right, but it's a possibility for some faculty.
Do y'all use grades like you use nursing?
We use ExamSoft. It's an online nursing
Okay.
exam for, well, I guess it's for other things too.
Now, do you just give them a link to the website and they go, or do you do a class? Or?
They have to download the exam, they have to create an account for themselves with ExamSoft
Okay.
that they do at the beginning of the semester. And then, I've not done it before, but I'm learning, and so we have to assign an exam, and they can access it on their device, in the classrooms.
But they're all done in class.
They're all done in class, yeah. So I
Okay.
guess that's one, statistics, and then I'm guessing I need to post those grades into Sakai, because they don't have to talk to each other.
Okay. Let's get to there's manage access. Check that out. This is a way to publish your site or to unpublish it. Basically, it's two options. You can either as a draft and then update. Now it's not published. Now your students cannot see it. And that's why it has a big publish button here. So you can either go back to manage access to publish it or just hit publish now. So at the beginning of the semester, we get contacts from students saying, I can't see my course. So you log in to see if it's published or not. If it is, then maybe there's a different issue, but a lot of times it's not published. So maybe look at the professor to see if the class hasn't started yet, or maybe they don't need Sakai. Some professors don't. So we always put a message at the beginning of the semester to publish your site. Now, ABIS, they're kind of run their classes themselves. Here we kind of let the professors do kind of things how they want. But then right before a semester starts, they automatically publish everything. So they kind of do that. We don't do that here.
So who does that? So I have my course published, when is it accessible to the students? The university controls that.
When you publish it, that's up to you.
So if I publish it though, is the university kind of gatekeep it as to when it actually, so the students can get it whenever I publish it?
As soon as you publish it, it's available to everyone in the course. Okay, so we're going to go over this one more thing on the site editor. It's called import from site. Now these used to be more complicated system, and now it's much more specific. Basically, if you want to move something from last semester to this semester, or from one other site to another site, first you have to be in the new site that you want to go to. You click merge content from the course. Then you pick the site you want to take data from, and lots of options here. And you continue. And then you pick the particular tool you want to move over. And pick your lesson setup, or whatever. And make sure your resources go over as well. But if you just want a specific tool, it's up to you.
You can do assignments and move them over so I can, because that's what I need to be doing.
That's what we're going to show you here. And so you pick a tool, and then you would hit finish, and then it will move that tool. So that's it. Now, if there's going to be a message at the top saying that this could take a few minutes, you know, just check back, but unless it's a lot of data, it'll happen pretty fast. And then you just go over here and check your data. All right, so now let's go. You don't need to set up site editor. Let's kind of go with some tools. So our syllabus tool. We've already had some syllabus set up. Basically, if you hit add item, you have to create a title. You can copy and paste it in here, or you can add an attachment. First, you have to actually add or publish. If you hit add, it's just going to save it as a draft. Triangle lets us add an attachment. And then you go to your computer and you pick your time. And you continue. You know, so this will say draft. So if you go to bulk edit, this is something that our professor had an issue. When we upgraded our Sakai last semester, we got a new syllabus tool. This made it a little more difficult for a lot of people. But basically, you just go to bulk edit, and you go to that particular syllabus, which is right here, and publish, hit update, and hit update again. Now they're all published. these are all tests. I don't recommend having 7 syllabus to confuse your students. Let's see, let's do it. Now, sometimes I've seen people have multiple syllabus. I personally think it's confusing, so I would generally. Some people, I've seen them have it for different sections of their course. I personally think it's. Okay, let's look at assignments. Assignments are used for, lots of different things. Papers, term papers, essays, that kind of thing, or wherever you want to use it. So assignment list. But this is what happens when you first add it. You give it a title, and it has a default date. This is pretty much now. And it gives you a week, but you can change those to wherever you want to make it. Any dates, time, now, the accept date it has to be at least this date or after. Basically, you can accept it, and it'll be mark it as late. But you can accept it. That's up to you. Under student submission, there are lots of ways to submit an assignment. Inline refers to this text box. Attachment only, it refers to attachment. Inline, you can just do it as both. Non-electronic, people use it if you just want to print something in class or there's something else you want to use. Single file upload means only one document you can upload. And that refers to also if you want to use the Turnitin system. Are you all familiar with Turnitin at all? Turnitin is a system where you check for plagiarism. Once they submit it, it gets sent to the Turnitin servers, wherever that's located. They check it over and make sure it's plagiarizing. They give you a percentage. And then it gets sent back to this area and you can just click on it. You do have to have grade. You have points, you can put points in, that kind of thing. Assignment. There's lots of different options here. You can hide a due date for some reason. You can add it to the calendar. I recently looked into the calendar tool. I really liked it, but it's got some quirks. My contact agents, they said they don't want to use it much. So I would say, if you want to use it, you can, but kind of use it at your own risk. The default view for the calendar is a month view, and that seems to work well. I tried to use week and day, and it didn't work. Like you couldn't see it at all. So it is available though if you want. Post an announcement that you post an assignment. That's a good thing to do. There's an honor pledge. You can just have that up there, and it doesn't really do anything, but it's more for their regions. Again, if you turn it, click here. It gives you some options. You can use it to exclude quotes, good luck for material, that type of thing. They're going to check, if this is check, it's going to check against their database. So if you have them do a draft and then have them do their real assignment, then it might flag it that second time because it already has their draft. But it's just an option. You don't have to use it. If this is checked here, it goes to the paper repository. We mentioned group submissions. If you have groups, if they've already created groups, this option is that. If you had not created groups, that option will not be there. Peer assessment, have other students be able to look at your assignment. And if you want to add attachment, add options there as well. These are different options that we don't really use a lot. You can check those out later if you want. And then you just go ahead and post. That's kind of what it looks like. Once the students start turning in their assignments, this will change to what's in and what's new. You click on it, and then click on the name, and that's where you put your grade. And once you hit save and release the student, then it goes to the student and they can check it out. They got it. Does that answer most of your questions?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So you're just going, so you do that student by student by student when you want to release the grades, or do you do it both?
Let's see here.
Because if you have a due date, you just do it all at once, if you have to do it individually.
I think you could just release the whole thing. But that's indicating when you're grading it. Like, let's say you're grading it and you're not ready to like finish reading it, so you can hit save and then go back and grade it later. But when you want to release it to that bigger student. It's more for the grading aspect. But actually put the assignment out there, you release it there. Okay. Announcements. Pretty straightforward. I have some different things here I was using for the test. You said add. Must have a title. Put in the body there. You make it to selected groups. If it's a public announcement, it'll give it like a URL. You can post online somewhere. Only members of the site, only members of that Sakai site. You get ones there, you're just writing for drafts. You can have it so it opens at a certain date. All that kind of stuff. And when you're ready to see post. And there's some here listed. It's a right one. The messages tool, we also have an email tool. We encourage you to use the messages tool because basically if you click email, it just goes to your Shepherd email. So you can send a message inside Sakai, but then if they respond, it will go to your Shepherd email. The messages tool works inside Sakai. You can communicate back and forth inside that site. But it also gives you an option to send a copy to their email as well. If it's a big deal for email, it's kind of your own option. You choose who you send it to, the professors, the students, everyone, or just certain groups, or individual students. They don't get a message.
And this message comes up to them through Sakai
Yes.
and email.
You can do both. But if they respond to the email, then it won't go into Sakai, it'll go to their email. So I would encourage you all to check your email as well, just to make sure. Some professors, they might not have access to their Sakai site, they have some problems, so they'll email you as well. Those are both good things to check. There are also tools available here. Generally, if you're using it, it's also available to the students so they can see who's in their site. They can see you as a professor. It's handy if you want to have pictures for people to see who's in their course. That's an option. You don't have to use it. Resources. I want to show you resources. It's a very valuable place to store things. If you have assignments or attachments. When you start out, this is the only folder that's listed. I've already added some. The way you add folders is with the action. You create a folder or just upload files on it. If you hit upload files, it gives you this little box here. You click here to browse, you get this normal pop-up window. Or you can just go to your desktop and browse. Now it's just sitting there waiting for me to hit continue. And there, I believe this is the Now resources is a great way to store things, but there's a limited size. You have 1 gig of space to store things. So it's good for documents, PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints. But if you have things with video, it'll take up that space pretty fast. We don't have a dedicated place online to store video. We do have a OneDrive account, which you can store things there. And a lot of people, if they create a video, they want to show their students, they might have a YouTube account. You can record it there. You can also make videos private. That's kind of how you want to deal with that. That way you just put the link here. Like I mentioned, you can create a folder. Put the name of the folder, create a folder there. I already created one called images. That's the big thing I like to do just so I can keep my images kind of all together. these are just other tests ones I had. But let's say I wanted to put this syllabus in one of these folders. Basically, I would hit this checkbox and hit move. Now you notice now there's these little clipboards. If I put the clipboard on this working 3, which is there, now the syllabus has moved to this folder. It's no longer in here now, it's in this folder. That's the plus means that there's something in here. So now let's look at forms. Forms are, if you would have online discussions in your class, fill out of questions that they have to answer, and you want the students to respond to each other, that kind of thing. The form itself is just basically a container. You have to have a topic inside the form where the students can see it. Like I just created something generic here. Let's get rid of this topic. So now I just have this spring text form, so you need to add a topic. Why is that? Some professors, I've seen them, they'll go in here and they'll edit their settings of the form and they'll put in their question in there. That looks fine for the professor, but then if they go to their student view, there's nothing there. It's because they need to add a topic. You click on Edit, New Topic. And that can be a question. There's an asterisk here, meaning you have to put something here, but you don't necessarily have to put something here if it's short. Moderate topic, you can check if you want to make sure that they're not posting something that's not profane or not something you want them to talk about. You can have it so you have to review them. You can have a certain date for the topic to show. There's an option to make it anonymous, but just be careful because you can't change that one. Make it so it goes to the grade book. So if they have to post certain things about, like, it has to be certain language where they have to post so many times, you have it in the grade book. And you hit save. And now there's a topic. Good student view, now they can see it. The student can click on it. And they have to start a conversation. A lot of times we'll suggest that the professor maybe start the conversation here. And it's kind of the same rich text box. And attachment kind of gets the conversation.
So the title would be the ones too, but why did it, Professor Galen's summer?
Right.
Okay.
And then after that, then the students can comment on it. There's also another setting here that people use a lot. Under topic settings. Require users to post before reading. That's good if, say your discussion, your forum is due like in a week, and people wait until like the last minute, and then they'll get a chance to respond to other people's things because they're not posting anything. No one's posting, and they're required to respond. So they can, if you check this box, then they can't post anything until they post their question first or their idea. Then they can respond. So it kind of forces them to get more interaction. So that's kind of the form in a nutshell. You can look at the grading here. No posts to be given, that type of thing. APIS was working on something called a form grader, which lets you look at the form in a lot more detail. But we haven't gotten that yet. We're hoping to get that soon.
The tab on the previous screen that said launch, what's the default now? Usually it's not to be alerted.
Yeah, except for notification.
Okay. Because generally, sometimes I have to remind myself to check, send an email, because otherwise I don't know something's been posted yet.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird that the default is no notification.
Well,
but it is. So
I'm not sure what it is. I
remember.
guess they could think maybe you don't want you to be bombarded every time someone puts something. Some of these I've seen like 50 conversations more, box may be full. But if that's what people want, then that's good. It actually gives you that option. But I think it does give you, I'm not sure if it gives you, I guess it doesn't give you notification. You know, at your home area, you get all these different notifications. Well, that's not for sure. They'll show you like your announcements that you're getting or your notifications. You can change all those kind of settings.
Well, it's just that you have to, if you don't tell it to notify you, then you have to go into Sakai to know that you've got stuff to grade now. Whereas I'm always looking at email, and that just tips me off right away. Oh, I have 4 posts I need to, I need to take a look at. It's 6-1 half dozen. You're either in email all the time, you're in Sakai all the time, but you would have to be in Sakai to pick up that notification form.
Is the chat room similar to the phone?
A chat room, it's not something that we use a lot, but we take a look at it. So we go to manage tools, so it's more for like if you have people in a classroom all together and you just want them to be chatting at the same time and that thing. Forums can be done kind of independently. And in theory, you can have a forum that people are sending messages back and forth. Think of forums as super fast email versus chat is like instant messaging. It's that type of thing. Some people do use it. Like I use this basically to test it. I had 2 versions of this course open by different accounts. I was going back and forth to test it. It works pretty fast. It's a chat.
So with a chat room, it's only for your class. It's not like I can chat with Laura.
If she's in your course, she could. So it's just whoever is in the Sakai site. And there's some permission options. But it's safe for everyone there to do different things. But as the professor, you can change it. Options. Hey, you can create multiple chats. And some classes maybe that works well.
If you did the forum, and I think one of my colleagues did it and was asking the students to introduce themselves on.
Yes.
Okay. There wasn't a grade associated with that, so if you don't do that grade thing, is it going to like yell at you once you have to put a grade?
Oh no, you don't have to put a grade for it all.
So just default whatever that is, you learn.
And that's a great way to use the forums. Is they create their forum. I typically just have a spring class forum, and then you add a new topic. And so this is where you're going to introduce yourself there and start yourself. Put your name as instructor or whatever you like to put. Then anyone can come in and report and click on it and then say, hey, that's a packet. They want to reply to it, they want to start their own conversation, reply to a message, go back, start their own conversation. They can tell them just a little bit about themselves. And that's a lot of professors are using them now. We used to have something called discussion forums, and people use that for that. We kind of got rid of that option. The discussion forums tool wasn't working so well, and APIS was getting rid of it, so they were no longer supporting it. So we basically just kind of take orders from APIS if there's something that they can't support. I just want to touch a little bit on the tests and quizzes. Reset this. Tests and quizzes can be as complicated or as simple as you want. Some people like to use tests and quizzes, some people like to use their own. Basically, you go in, if you want to create one, you have to give it a title. And there's three ways actually to create a test. Assessment builder is what we use generally for do assessments you want to build. There is one called using markup text. It's a little complicated. I personally have used it a lot, but that's something we can look into if that's something y'all want to try out. Or you can import from another place. This I used to use a lot, but lately I've tried to use it and it has some works. So, basically, you would create here. And this is where you can create your own questions. You can add different parts of your exam. Like say you have one part's going to be multiple choice, one part that's going to be short answer. You can have parts there. But just to start out, you select your type of question. And there's all kinds of different options you can have. Calculator for like command, a file upload, like for an attachment. Fill in a blank, but if you do fill in a blank, it has to be exactly. Like if they misspell it, then it's going to mark it wrong. So that's something to be aware of. Hotspot is used for like a different map. You have to set as to which part of the map they choose, that type of thing. For nursing, they have part of the body, and they need to identify part of the body on the map. That's something. Matching is an option. Multiple choice is one people use mainly. Short answer, they use true false as well. And it's just copied from the question pool. Question pool is basically when in a while you create a lot of questions, you can save them in a question pool, and then choose from them later and create separate quizzes like different exams if you want to mix it up, not have the same one all the time, because students they pick up on that if you use the same one over. So basically, just for example, go to multiple choice. You have to give a point value. You have to have an actual question. You have to have your 4 options. You can make it 3, or you can add more options down here. You have to pick one that's correct. You can get feedback. There's lots of different options here. You can make it random. And you just hit save. I'm going to show you an example here of one that I created. Let's look at the if you're already creating an assessment, these are different options you can do. One's to edit. I was just not sure which team you like. My team did bad yesterday, but the Redskin fan, the Redskins did well.
That's not one of the choices, though.
It was not. That was not. But this is just a test here. And if you would edit, you can change your options. Go back there. But if you're editing an assessment, you don't want to do it if it's already published. That's mentioned. I'm not sure that's actually an option. Let's go back to assessments. These are working copies. They're like your drafts. Published copies are already out there. If you give the option, if there's a number here that indicates that someone has already taken it, that's how you grade it. If it's not one, it's automatically graded. For example, multiple choice, it automatically grades it. But short answer, you would have to grade them yourself. Now, for assessments, you have lots of different options under settings. Just show that. Assessment leads to the entire site, or you can do the groups. Groups are available. I'm actually looking at published assessments. Let's look at it when it's not published. We can select a group, or just go into everyone. If it's anonymous, it's like a survey. For different things on campus, we use this tool to create an assessment and then surveys on campus. You can have it so it's unlimited number of submissions or just one. That's usually what people do. There. For quizzes, sometimes they'll let them take it over and over again just for learning purposes. It's available to this time. This obviously was long under the That's how you would change it if it's when you're just creating. Grading feedback. If you check this box here, it will send the score to the grade book. So if you notice it's not going to the grade book, you don't know why, this has to be checked. And also, if you're giving feedback to the students, like let's say they take the exam, but they want to know how they did. You have to give feedback on submission or immediate. Depends on how you want to have it set up. If you just want the scores, or if you want to give specific feedback, like they answered a particular question a certain way, you can give them feedback and then give a question. Lots of different settings here. It's kind of up to you. If you just want to have them get their score, these are things you can play around. Layout and appearances is basically just how you want it to look. You can change it. So randomizes the questions, puts them all on one page or a second page. You can change the background color. Is there any questions about that so far? This is kind of a quick overview. Now, something I do want to mention. Go to this lesson. Give me a chance to get to it. But one of the coolest tools we have is the lessons tool with Sakai. It kind of combines all your things you have together. It combines your assignments and your forms, and all your texts. You can do it like a lesson plan. So if you have a lesson plan already planned. I was just going to use this as an example. About football, because it's football season. The lessons tool is not here by default. Your side of it, and tools, and lessons, there, and continue. Now it gives you an extra option. When you hit lessons, you have to give it a name. It's going to leave it as lessons, and hit finish to confirm. Now your lessons is over here on the left. So if you click on it, it's going to give you all these different options you can do. Add content. Now, some people add different lessons for each week of their course. What I suggest is to add one lesson and then add subpages. So we'll have create. You kind of have to follow the order area here. So we're in that one lesson there. Let's add another page. You can just go on down the line. You can call these whatever you want. You can add the dates. And this way, the students can follow along, and each week they kind of know what you want them to do in that week. Click week. You can add links. You can add assignments. Let's add an assignment. You can either put one in that you've already created, or you can add it. So there's none in this course yet, so we would just go to assignments. Just for speed, we're just going to go to this. That's there. Go back to our lesson. Continue after you create the assignment. Go back there. And we're going to use this one. That's our term paper. If you want to add more things after that, you can go there. I'm going to add a checklist. Checklist is good to give them different things they need to do for that week, and then they can check off. this seems strange, but they need to do it and read it. See if we can change that. And I think
Well, reword, yeah,
there you go. I did that already. So that's a checklist. You can, there's all kinds of things you can add. You can create your forum. You can add just a general question. You can add attachments. You can add more subpages. You can embed content on a page. If you have a video you want to post there, if you want to grab something from your resources, in there. And that's week one. Week two, you can kind of do the same thing.
Is this a better way to manage your space limitations on the resources we want to do, web pages and videos and stuff?
Well-
Does this have a limit as well?
Well, basically, the lessons tool kind of grabs things from the rest of your site. So it's your site still only has 1 gig of space. It's just a neat way to organize your information. So, John, any questions? We're almost out of time here.
That was a great book.
I think it's a good introduction. But yeah, let me show you the grade book. Well, by default, the grade book is just it's empty right now.
Yeah, so that's what mine's empty too, so I need to know, like, how do you,
When you go in the grade book, you go to grade book setup. Kind of make sure it's how you want it on the points. Right now, there's nothing in its categories. I like to have categories and weighting. What that does is you can create like a yeah, this is an example. You can arrange it however you want. It does have to add up if you use the weighting. There's also, you can create a category just as a credit, so it won't mess with the percentages. If you have lots of quizzes, you can set up, so it'll drop the lowest, that type of thing. Now, in assignments and tested quizzes and forms, you can have it so automatically goes to your grade book, and then it'll automatically create an item. But if it's not going to do that, then you can just add an item here. Put your title and so forth. So I would suggest not putting all the items in right away. If you're going to have something that's going to automatically send one in, because then you'll have a duplicate. And then you put your title in, put the point value, the dates, that type of thing. If you're creating categories, then you get assigned to a different category. Like I misspelled paper else. So you don't want to do that. And then you want to check this if you want it to be. There's nothing there right now. Import from grades is something you can do with an Excel spreadsheet. It does have to be in a certain format, though. That's something you can try. We can work with you later if that's something you want to try. Fourth grade just shows you all the grades that are listed. Well, fourth grade answer, that's the one that shows you like your total grade that they have in class. Once you kind of start going, you can see what the example is.
see if you're gonna export your grades into CVS files, I have that happen to be.
Yeah, which is like an Excel.
For Rail, I guess, submission or whatever, something to use that for.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Like they export it and they can just, I'm not sure how Rail takes the grades, if you have to do it individually or you can export it.
Right.
I'm not sure about Rail.
Because we did it before, not here, but we looked at it separate, that we used that, we had to submit that to
Okay.
the fact to, department.
Okay. That's all I have right now. I was hoping to show more of the lesson demo, but if you've got any questions, I can show you more of that. Do you have any questions? Okay, thanks a lot.